Heinrich Himmler, one of Hitler's right-hand men. He was responsible for the death of 6 million people. He was Vader to Hitler's Sidious. But what drove him to do what he did, and what did he do? Himmler was born on October 7th, 1900 in Munich. He came from a middle-class, stable family. He was a shy, physically weak kid growing up. In 1915, he joined the Lancet Cadet Corps as an officer candidate in the 11th Bavarian Regiment. When World War I broke out in 1914, he was part of the reserve forces, and the war ended suddenly. Anti-Semitism had been on the rise in Germany for several decades, and it was a hot topic in universities. After World War I, the Treaty of Versailles was signed, and Germany was punished for causing all the loss and damage. The Weimar Republic started to print more money for reparations, which led to heavy inflation. Bread prices rose from 250 marks to 200 billion marks in a single year. This caused problems for Himmler and his family. While Himmler was at university, the SA was being organized by early Nazi leaders. One of them, Ernst Röhm. The SA was a group of ex-soldiers, many of whom had lost their jobs because of the Treaty of Versailles. Their role was to protect Nazi rallies, disrupt meetings of rival parties, spread Nazi propaganda, and intimidate opponents. Even before joining the Nazi Party, Himmler had adopted anti-Semitic views, influenced by the Völkisch movement, anti-Semitic writers like Houston Stewart Chamberlain, and radical nationalist groups in post-war Bavaria. He already blamed Jews for Germany's problems before becoming involved with the SA. In August 1923, Himmler officially became a member of the Nazi Party. After he became member of the Nazi Party, he quickly participated in the Beer Hall Putsch. It was a coup attempted by Hitler to seize power by force. He ended up in jail. After Hitler's arrest, Himmler became more passionate and performed his job effectively, delivering speeches, distributing literature, and establishing a network within the party. After Hitler's release in 1925, the SS was formed, and he appointed Himmler as the SS Führer. This new position allowed Himmler to gain closer proximity to Hitler. He shared his ideas, his plan about racial superiority, especially the Aryan race, and Jews. That was what Hitler wanted to hear. He appointed him as the highest-ranking member in the SS, the Deputy Reichsführer, marking the beginning of his ascent. In 1932, the Nazi Party was popular at that time, and the German people were in big problem. The Nazis found the solution for their problem blaming the others, especially the Jews. If they dealt with the Jews, then the pure-born German people would thrive and will be back to their glory once again. It was a compelling act that many people fell for, and Hitler ran for president, but lost to President Hindenburg. The president then offered him the position of chancellor, which Hitler accepted. Soon after Hitler became chancellor, the Reichstag, Germany's parliament, was set on fire. And Hitler took advantage of his new power and blamed the rival parties, especially the communists. He convinced Hindenburg to sign an emergency decree. Shortly after most of them were sent to the Dachau concentration camps, the president died, and Hitler took advantage and took control of Germany. All of a sudden, Himmler had the freedom to do as he wished, his dream of commanding a powerful army with strong racial purity. He created the SS Race and Settlement Main Office, which was a racial policies. If someone wanted to join, he had to provide his family tree showing that he was descended from the Aryan race. And then Operation Himmler came, which was a plan to justify the German invasion of Poland as an act of self-defense. They staged fake attacks along the borders, they put German SS men in Polish army uniforms and killed prisoners from concentration camps. And the most famous was the Gleiwitz incident, where SS men dressed as Polish and attacked a German radio station and broadcast anti-German slogans in Polish. It was a compelling act that justifies the invasion of Poland, and a month later the invasion occurred that marked the beginning of the Second World War. Before the start of the Second World War, Hitler had a purge known as the Night of the Long Knives. In late June and early July 1934, he ordered the arrest and execution of many of his own allies, especially the leaders of the SA, the Nazi Party's paramilitary wing. Ernst Röhm, the head of the SA, was seen as a threat because he wanted the SA to replace the German army. Hitler needed the army's support, so he turned on Röhm. The SS, under Heinrich Himmler, carried out the purge. Röhm and other SA leaders were shot without trial. This brutal crackdown secured Hitler's control, eliminated rivals, and won the loyalty of the army, helping to strengthen his dictatorship before the war. Himmler was considered by many as one of the darkest people in human history. His nickname was the Architect of the Holocaust. In January 1942, there was a meeting between top Nazi officials known as the Wannsee Conference. The conference was about the plan of the final solution to the Jewish question: extermination of the European Jews. Reinhard Heydrich led it. He was the chief of the Reich Security Main Office. But before this operation was in action, Heydrich was assassinated. He was one of Himmler's most important and trusted deputies. They shared a similar ideology and goal. His death affected Himmler. After the death of Heydrich, Himmler turned cold. He launched Operation Reinhard. At first, Jewish people were executed by firing squad. Himmler visited the Einsatzgruppen execution, and he was visibly distressed. Turned pale, he may have almost fainted. Some say he threw up. The experience convinced Himmler that the mass shootings were too traumatic for the SS men. Effective, but not sustainable on a massive scale. What did he decide next? He told his commanders that they needed a new method of mass killing that was faster, easier to control, and caused less psychological burden for the killing. This led to the order to develop the gas chambers, which led to the death of 1.5 to 2 million European Jews in the operation. It was the deadliest phase of the Holocaust. By the time the Nazi defeat was inevitable, Himmler went behind Hitler's back. He tried to negotiate a peace deal with the Allied forces so that he could be established as the leader of the German people after Hitler's inevitable defeat. He then launches the Death March, forcing the prisoners to walk distances in terrible conditions to evacuate from concentration camps, so that these people can be used as hostages to increase his leverage in negotiations. Soon after Hitler found out that Himmler had betrayed him, he ordered his arrest. Himmler disguised himself as an ordinary German soldier, got a fake identity, then went west to be caught near Bremervorde in northern Germany. The reason he went west was to avoid the Soviet zones. Thinks he would get torture, and if they found out who he won't see the sun again. After his capture, he was taken into custody by the British. The British didn't recognize him at first, but during a detailed search, the soldiers found his hidden SS ring and, after being questioned, Himmler finally admitted who he was. Soon after, the British moved him to Lüneburg to hand him over for war crimes, but he bit down on a hidden cyanide capsule. On May 23, 1945, Himmler took his life before facing any justice. From a sickly, shy boy to the cold-blooded mastermind of mass murder, a transformation both unique and horrifying. Thanks for watching. If you find this video enjoyable, like and subscribe. And special thanks for joining the membership.